Thanks for joining us for the third week for Conscious Discipline. This is Brett Gilley with Big Sky Therapeutic Services, and I'm joined with Beth Branham from Opportunities Incorporated. And this week we're going to talk about assertiveness, which is part of the safety. We're talking about the brain state model. We're talking about the safety, the brain when it's in the fight, flight, or freeze mode, and how assertiveness can help our children. I have a short little video to watch here. Sorry, I forgot to add the video, the audio to this here.
The monkey business illusion. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball. For people who haven't seen or heard about a video like this before, about half miss the gorilla. If you knew about the gorilla, you probably saw it. But did you notice the curtain changing color or the player on the black team leaving the game? Let's rewind and watch it again. Here comes the gorilla, and there goes a player, and the curtain is changing from red to gold. When you're looking for a gorilla, you often miss other unexpected events. And that's the monkey business illusion. Learn more about this illusion and the original gorilla experiment at theinvisiblegorilla.com.
And what we're talking about in this, what we're talking about here is the power of attention. And what we have a tendency to focus on, we get more of, and in the process, we can also ignore what is important and occurring around us. And as an example in that video, when we're looking for the ball or who's passing the ball or how many times it was passed, we missed the other events that were occurring around us. And so this is important as we're working with our own children, is sometimes we're focused on what is not going well that we miss what is going well and need to focus more on that, which will help increase behavior. So right now I added this video or this picture of the IRS, Department of Internal, the IRS here. And when people see this, it has different meanings to different people. If you're a business owner or somebody who might owe taxes, when you see this in the mail, it can mean it could mean that you owe money back. For some, the IRS means you get a refund. And the idea here is that sometimes our perception of events or a perception of what we encounter impacts how we respond. If your response is every time you see an IRS letter is that, oh no, now how much do I owe them? Versus, oh no, or oh yes, I get some money, that has a big difference. What does it mean when somebody says, you need to go to the principal's office? For most of us, it really means that something good is not going to happen. It's just like going, hey, the boss wants to see you. For a lot of people, that has a negative meaning because it's usually not associated with something positive. And again, we're looking at where do we focus our time and attention. Something really quick I like to talk about is that our 5 favorite words as parents is no, don't, stop, quit, or not. These are the words and phrases that we often use more than other words such as encouraging words like good job, thanks for using your walking feet, I like that you helped me at the table, thanks for using your nice words. And so what we want to do is we want to work on reframing what we're looking for and what we're putting our attention on. And here is just kind of a real quick look at how we can pivot, or what I call the positive opposite. So our old way of responding is we would tell kids, don't touch. In a new way of responding, when we're trying to approach things differently and look at how we're going to teach, is we look at it this way as saying, okay, a child wants to touch something, so I wonder if I can help them. And so a new way to look at that is, if you would like to touch that, then say, and I don't have a phrase there, and you could say, hey, Mom, could I please look at the plate? Or Mom, could I please look at that toy? And then we could either help the kid with that activity, or we can redirect them. An old way of responding is, you know better than that. And a new way of responding would be, remember the rule is, for example, maybe a kid is running in the house, and you could say, you know better than to run in the house. And what we would do is we'd say, what's the positive opposite? Remember, the rule is we walk in the house and we run outside. And what we want to try to focus on is when the kid is doing what we want them to do. So right after we say the rule, I sometimes might say, I can't wait to see you follow the rule. Or I might say, show me your walking feet. And then the child will show me their walking feet, and I'll be like, awesome, good job. I love seeing your walking feet. And then my job as the adult is to try and catch them when they're walking to reinforce that behavior. I'll just go to the last one here, which is stop hitting. And we often say that to kids, like, stop hitting your brother, stop doing that, stop hitting me, or why did you do that? And a new way to kind of look at that, if we were to reframe this as a, if we were to reframe this in a much better way to help focus on what we want our children to do in the positives, you would say, when you want help getting your toy back, say, Beth, please give me my toy back. And then I would tell the child, if your friend does not listen, then say, Brett, Beth took my toy, can you help me get it back? So I'm going to try and teach and assume that the kids really, the best intent, that they want help, that they don't have a skill, and I'm going to try and find the positives in everything that they do. The goal here is not to ignore challenging behavior, but is to try and focus on the challenge, on the positive behavior the kids displaying, so that we get more of that. Just kind of like the gorilla video is, if we're watching for one thing, one behavior, we might miss the other behaviors. And if we're watching for kids to misbehave, then we may end up missing behaviors where kids are behaving, and the chance to encourage more of that behavior. I just added this little, this is something I do with families, which is oftentimes what you can do right now today is, when you're done watching the video, is you can track how often you notice when others in your family are doing well versus when they're doing something wrong or making a mistake. This is a really good exercise, because once we as adults start tracking our behavior about when we're noticing when things are going wrong, then we automatically start changing our behavior to notice what is going well. And when families start to do this, usually within a week or two, they notice a huge positive difference in how their relationships go, the way the children are responding, especially if we're catching our children doing well more than we're catching them doing things wrong. It's kind of like going to the principal's office. If every time an adult says something to a child, it's like, oh no, what did I do now? And we'd rather our response to our kids be, oh, my mom's saying something, it must be really important, for the kids to be excited, to be like, oh yes, I did use walking feet. Oh, I was very gentle with my brother. That was good. Like, those are the things we need to be focusing on.